Following Stoner, the State of the Nation address, the Public Service Commercial Union says that government has run out of ideas to save South Africa from economic ruin. The PSCU says the address was spectacularly disappointing in the midst of power outages. The union was launched in December last year. To discuss, we're joined by the head of the Public Service Commercial Union, Tahir Maepa. Mr. Maepa, thank you for being with us. Because you are a relatively new formation as a union, tell us who is represented by the Public Service Commercial Union and how many members do you have right now?
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity. The PSCU, yes, is relatively new. However, we are not new in this space. The PSCU was mainly formed by the public servants who have been disappointed by the state of affairs in the public service, especially the fact that majority or the strong areas of these unions are politically aligned. They are aligned to the governing party, they are aligned to the employer. And due to the frustration on the slow pace of change, and they felt that there's a need for an alternative voice that will represent only the aspiration of the working class, especially public servants and those who are in the commercial side of business of government.
Yes.
So this organization is launched by already people who've been around. I myself, I've got a 23-year long history as a trade unionist and especially in the public service. The current Minister of Labour, I negotiated with him when he was a chief negotiator for SATU. So the experience that PSCU is bringing is much bigger than the date of birth of PSCU.
And it's interesting because you are looking for membership amongst public servants, like you said, government workers, but also people who work in banks, I understand.
Yes, we are recruiting in banks, we are recruiting in a commercial sector. The commercial sector, that is the business side of government. And there's a reason behind that. We have seen in the past that the banks basically play a very important role in terms of where the public service is going. And public servants have been at the receiving end in the manner in which banks are treating public servants. The public servants are the most downtrodden sector of our society, despite the fact that their jobs, for now, they are still guaranteed. But the banks are really treating public servants as if they are part-time workers. And I'll give you a classical example. Majority of the public servants don't have houses and they can't qualify for houses. Banks are willing to indebt them with unsecured loans to buy a cell phone and to buy insignificant things. But when public servants require to build, to buy assets, they make it very difficult for them. And we as a union, we felt that it is about time that when we influence what is in the best interest of workers, we must be holistic. We cannot only deal with salary increments once in 3 years. What are we doing in between? So the socio-economic aspects of the workers are key to our agenda moving forward.
All right, and then it's interesting, I'd like to know what you think about what the president said, that it's businesses that create jobs. There's a debate about whether we have too many public servants. I think most would agree too few, although the wage burden is often brought up as a burden on the state. You also say that youth unemployment was not dealt with properly. It's a ticking time bomb. That was clear in the July unrest. What did you want to hear from the president during SONA that you did not?
One of the things that we need to learn as South Africans, we need to stop clapping for people for doing their job. President Ramaphosa is our employee. We gave him a mandate when we elected him into power. The mere reason that he chose to employ ministers, some of the ministers who hardly understand what they were supposed to be doing, is none of our business. The fact of the matter is that the output of his performance as the president of this country is so poor that we don't believe that he would even want to come back for the second term. Because what is it that he will bring to the table? When President Ramaphosa came into power, he came at the bedrock of the workers. It is the workers who lifted him into that office. But today, the workers are suffering under his administration in many ways. The public servants in particular, and I must demystify this argument that public service is bloated. Public service is not bloated. If public service was bloated, the services to our country, to our nation would have been better. There are over 200,000 vacant positions in the public service. We all know, for instance, in the police sector, the police are outgunned by criminals. They are unable to protect us because we only have about 170,000 police officers who are supposed to look after 50 million people. It's absurd. It's unthinkable.
Mr. Maepa, we're running out of time. Very quickly, you said he's putting the party first, not workers. In what way? Very quickly.
In a sense that he allowed corruption to flourish under his administration, because it is corruption that has robbed us of our prosperity. And the mere fact that he's willing to fall on a sword protecting corruption, that in itself is an egg on the face of the workers who have put him into power.
All right, thank you for your time tonight. That was the head of the Public Service Commercial Union, Tahir Maepa.